All right, testing. Gotta do a mic check test because my normal mod is not here to tell me whether or not it's working. You know what? I bet I have to refresh. There we go. Cool. Okay. Welcome to Urza's Art Atelier. Tonight I am doing my 6th Inktober prompt. Well, it's day 6. And today's prompt is Basilisk. So I did a little bit of research because I wanted to make sure that I knew what a basilisk was. And I got this description from Bestiary. Bestiary, however you pronounce that. BESTIARY.Canada. I think that's CA. Yeah, Canada. So it is in Greek. It is a crested snake or a cock or a chicken rooster with a snake's tail. It's called the King of the Serpents because its Greek name means little king. Its odor is said to kill snakes. So it smells bad. Like, is that some kind of like airborne snakeicide or something? Because like snakes smell with their tongues. Well, they pick up scents with their tongues and then put it in their nostrils inside their mouth. It's weird. Snakes are weird. Let's see. Fire coming from its mouth kills birds, and its glance will kill a man. So it can kill by hissing, which is why it's called syllabus. Oh, that's why I die every first day of class. I was listening to the hissing of a basilisk. Like a scorpion, it likes dry places, and its bite causes victims to become hydrophobic. Oh, that's interesting. I did learn about hydrophobia. Well, becoming hydrophobic. You cannot drink water. It's terrifying. You cannot drink water. The poison of the basilisk is so strong that if one is stabbed with a spear, the poison will flow up the spear to inflict the person holding it. So poison. Ouch. And the touch and the breath of a basilisk kills bushes, scorches grass, and breaks stones. Other animals will not eat or even touch any animal that was killed by a basilisk. And the only animal that can kill a basilisk directly is the weasel. The weasel enters the cave where the basilisk lives, causing the basilisk. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start calling it the basilisk, because that's how it's spelled, basilisk. To flee. But the weasel catches and kills it. Sometimes the weasel itself may be killed in the fight. Basilisks are afraid of the cock and shudder when they see one. The crying of a cock causes convulsions in the basilisk, from which sometimes dies. Oh, it can die by convulsion. So it's like a fainting goat. The basilisk is hatched by a toad from a cock's egg. Okay, so if a rooster lays an egg and it's hatched by a toad, you get a basilisk. So when the egg hatches, a male chick emerges. After 7 days, it grows the tail of a serpent. Okay. The basilisk have each one. For the basilisk, the kinglet, and the sibyllus. Where the regulus is treated separately, the bite of the basilisk causing hydrophobia is generally ascribed to the regulus. Okay, so we have three different versions of the basilisk. We can either do the kinglet, the regulus, the syllabus, and one each for the basilisk, the regulus, and the syllabus. Penny, what is your problem? It's okay, baby girl. You're okay. What's the matter? My dog is antsy for some reason. I do not know why. Alright, so that gives us snake bird hybrid, beast being a bird, and a snake tail. All snake with no bird parts. Or wearing a crown. And a weasel attacking the basilisk is commonly included in the image. Okay, so I think I got a good idea of what I want to do tonight then. My child loves chickens, so this will be fun. Explain to my child why I'm drawing a chicken with a snake tail. Actually, this combines the two things that the child likes: snakes and chickens. So this will go great. Here, child. Mommy drew you where's my glove? This is the problem. I constantly set things down on my desk and then lose them behind my tablet. There we go. Okay, so, like 7 minutes in, finally getting to drawing something. I know what chickens look like, totally. Not gonna just make this up as I go. You know what? Let's not start with circles, though. Let's start with an action line. That's gonna be kind of my line that I want to follow, I feel like. Something where we're gonna have its head up here, the body of the chicken here, and then the snaky tail down here. I think that's what we want. And I think maybe something a little bit more like this, because I want it to kind of be like the wings to kind of be like back, kind of like it's like rearing up. You guys can't see me because I'm not on camera, so it doesn't help when I actually do that. Me moving around doesn't tell you guys anything. Talking with my hands? Why would I do that? Because I'm not on camera. Okay, so I think we want like rearing up like this, and then like the joint for a chicken leg is going to be like this. So we're going to have two of them. So we're going to have the chicken hip here. Chicken hips. And we want them to kind of be like rearing up. I don't know exactly if that's how that's going to go, but it's going to be something like that. And then the tail is going to come down here to the snake tail. I think I still want to have like rooster feathers coming off here because it says that oh, you know what? I'm not sharing my drawing page. Stop sharing. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Let me fix that so that you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Make sure that I am still... Okay, cool. I'll do that. All right, now, actually, I kind of like that. I don't think it gets in the way. Okay, so now you can see what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing. And I have this horrific bird monster here sketch on my... So let's do this. I don't know. You know, I'm not using a reference, and that is not a good idea. Um, for me not to use a reference. I really ought to. Caw. Oh man, this is gonna be great. I should have gotten a chicken reference or a rooster reference. You know what? I might just go and grab one real quick. Let's do that. Rooster. That's roster. Rooster. I'm not gonna share this screen because I'm just gonna grab the first rooster image that kind of gives me what I want. That one doesn't show its head. That's not very helpful. I think that'll do. That will do. Save image as. Put this into my reference image. Well, that's not going to work because it's not the right type of image. Yeah, that works. It's a little bit more cartoony than what I wanted, but it'll work. That's not the right kind of file either. How about this one? Is this the right kind of file? No, it's not. Great. Trying to find an image that is actually an image that I can put on my computer because, like, only certain images work. There we go. Oh, finally. Found a JPEG. Let's see if this says rooster. In my references folder. Sweet. Okay. Now we can tag it in here. Add. Rooster. There we go. Okay, now we can see what a rooster is shaped like. And I have a really large head for my rooster. My rooster has an abnormally large head. You know, they are called bird brains for a reason. And that is because they are not very smart. I read a story once about a chicken that lived after it didn't have a head anymore. That was weird. Okay, so we really want to bring this chest out. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that my chest on my chicken was, or my rooster was very small. And then the head kind of like, it comes back in and then goes out again. And then you get like the back. And then the bum with the tail feathers. And then the legs really are like just the knee and below. But all that's feathers. Okay. And then he's got his like comb on top, which we're going to make look like a crown because Regulus, he's got his little, I think it's called a wattle is what this is called. At least that's what it's called on a turkey. I don't know if that's what it's called on a rooster. Oh, and yes, R.I.P. Roberto Jr. Sad day when Roberto Jr. left this life. Poor Roberto Jr. Okay. All right. And a snake, I really don't need a reference for a snake. I'm pretty sure that I know what a snake looks like. Although after trying to draw a rooster, maybe I should not be so Okay. Here we go. We got our snake tail. Really want to bring those feathers up. Give them like nice tail feathers. And then the wings are stretched back. They're going to go kind of like that. Wings are weird. They're more like that, but we get there. Right now, I need to clean up the sketch. Should we have... Oh, that's a reference image, so it's the thumbtack. The question is, do I have the chicken breathing fire? Is this a fiery chicken? I think so. I think the ridiculousness of having a chicken breathing fire is rather funny. But I think that thing said something specifically about what it kills with fire. Oh, and its odor kills snakes. The smell of it kills a snake. It's so weird. Fire coming from its mouth kills birds. And with its glance, it would kill man. Okay, so it's stinky. It has bad breath. And glaring at a man it can kill a man by glaring at them. So obviously, this is a third wave feminist rooster. Crack myself up if I don't crack up anybody else. Okay, so let's take down the opacity on this. Make this brush a little bit thicker. And come in here. Oops, wrong layer. Start refining this sketch a little bit. I think we want to do a little bit of like those denoting feathers. So I don't want to make my lines all like super smooth. I want them to have a little bit of a skip every once in a while, just to denote those feathers, to give that idea that the feather is there. I think I still have a rather large head on this chicken, but in fairness to me, it's not a chicken, it's a basilisk. Therefore, whatever I do is right. I think they have like these like dew claw looking things back here too. I'm going to pretend they do, because I'm pretty sure they have like a little hook there. So we're going to do that, because that just makes sense to me that this killer bird would have that kind of thing on their leg. Okay. There we go. Zoom in. Make this smaller again. Draw what I think is called the wattle. Or again, that's what it's called on a turkey. Okay, now the eye on this thing is going to be really important. I feel like, well, I think that what I want to do for its eye is give it that slit eye. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller still. I think I want to give it a slit eye, like what a snake would have. And I think I'm going to make it yellow. Because, again, this is a basilisk. I'm not just drawing a chicken or a rooster. Sorry. I'm not just drawing any old rooster. I am drawing a basilisk. There's a fight in, what's that game? Dragon's Dogma. I think. No, that's a chimera. That's a chimera. I don't remember if there's a basilisk fight in that game or not. I feel like there is. I don't know. I don't remember. But there's the fights in that game is so good. I'm so excited for the next one to come out. I really, really hope that they don't mess it up, because that would be the worst. It would be just the absolute worst if they ruined that game. It's so good. I think I'm gonna make that eye a little bit bigger. It's a little bit small. I know it's probably to scale with an actual chicken, but this is a basilisk we're talking about, people, and a basilisk should have a bigger eye, because then you can see it better. This is my art, and it's a fantasy creature, so I can make it look however the heck I want. And no one will stop me. Okay. Oh, still have it selected. There we go. Okay, so ugh, my allergies are killing me today. Ugh, it's awful. I ran out of allergy meds. I had to borrow my husband's. and then I just ugh. The wind change, and it's cold now, so there's the cold to deal with. It's just it's pretty gross. Pretty gross. I had to go out and pick all my husband's had to go out and pick all my husband's peppers out of the garden because we have a frost advisory tonight. I didn't want him to lose them, so I went and got those out of the garden. My tomato plant is done for the season. Everything's done for the season because it's, frosty times. But yeah, sad day. The growing season is over. My garden did not do as well this year as it did last year. Like, my tomatoes did not do well. My what are they called? Acorn squash. That was a disaster. Just a disaster of epic proportions. It was dead before it even grew. It got eaten by a worm from the inside out. It was so gross. It's like, why? I love acorn squash. I love squash. And my acorn squash, I was so looking forward to that. And it died. It's not fair. Not fair. You know what? I should. I am quite behind myself. There we go. Cool. Just so I can keep an eye on the stream and make sure that nothing goes terribly awry. Interesting wing shapers, huh? Beautiful. Beautiful. Shall sing the praises of your wing shapes forever. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, because the wing kind of has like two. Having my bird, I know that the wings do a kind of thing at the fold. The feathers are separated into like two sets. There's the outer flight feathers, which roosters don't fly anyway. But then there's the inner flight, the inner feathers that are kind of closer to the body. So divide the wing up into those two sections, and you get your wing shape. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. See, awesome. Let's add that snake tail coming down. I don't know. Do I want to do that, or do I want to have it kind of like up like that? So it's kind of more like a I feel like this going up like this might be a better choice because that it could be more like a crest, look more like a medieval crest, which would be cool. Yeah, let's do that. That also brings like it looks less like the snake tail is an afterthought because that's kind of how I feel about it when it's down at the bottom like it is right now. Ooh, but I could maybe draw like dead snakes. It's covered in dead snakes from its smell. Do this. Do this, and then we want fire breathing out of its mouth. And we're going to go with that like classic fire look. The way they kind of draw it in like medieval books. Fire. I know this is a really interesting uh mythical creature. I would not gonna lie, I would not peg a rooster um as a mythical creature or as the basis of a mythical. Oops, that's a little bit too. There we go. Flame, flames. There we go. Would not peg a rooster as a mythical creature, especially not a rooster laid by an egg laid by a rooster that's incubated and hatched by a toad, which then sprouts a snake tail 6 days after, 8 days after. There's got to be something to that. There's got to be some reason why this animal is so weird. This is a weird animal. Where in the world did this come from? I mean, did someone just like think it up or what? I don't know. I do not know. Maybe someday I will find out, or I'll go back to that website. Maybe it says. Maybe the website says. See what's my. Yep, that'll work. Chicken chaser. Play Fable. Get called a chicken chaser. Kick enough chickens. Call you a chicken chaser. I worked really hard for that achievement, so I could be called a chicken chaser. Because who doesn't want to be known as the rowdy child who chases chickens? Fable was fun. Well, Fable 2. I didn't play Fable 1. I have this thing when I play video games where I only play a game if it gives me the option to play as a girl. Like if I can play as a girl, I'll play the heck out of the game. But if it doesn't give me that option, then I'm not interested. And obviously, the original Fable did not do that. Why am I sexist against male video game characters? That's a good question. Because I feel like the age-old argument that there were no female characters when I was little is not right. Because Samus and Princess Peach and Zelda, they have a lot to say about that claim. And they're all like really good characters too. Like Zelda, oh my gosh, that she's amazing. Like, I mean, yeah, she's captured by Ganon and Link has to save her, but she's also really strong in her own right, and that's pretty cool. I like Zelda. I like Zelda a lot. I always played Zelda in Super Smash Bros. She's my girl. Because she's cool. And I like her. And she's pretty. And she has a dress. But she still kicks butt while wearing a dress. And girls can do that. They can wear dresses and still kick butt. Maybe not literally kicking butts, but you know, we women have our ways. I hope that comes off as a crown and not just a weird looking crest. I hope that actually reads that way. I don't know if it does or not. There we go. There he is. The crown and glory of his empire. I did not turn down that or turn that off. Look at me. Oops. Look at me being lazy about that. I want to redo that top part. There we go. Oops. Okay. Do want to turn that down still though. Way down. There we go. We have learned that inking looks better if you don't try to exactly copy what you drew on the layer underneath. You want it to be there as a guide, but not as like a hard and fast, I must follow this line perfectly, because if you do that, then you end up with a really, like, with a drawing that looks like it's been traced. And that's not what you want. You don't want your drawing to look like it's been traced. Let's add a little bit of these little lines. Oops. Don't do that, Tamlin. Stop it. To these lines here, and I'll add a catch light later, maybe. We'll see. We might add a catch light. I might not. It just depends on what I think the piece needs, whether or not he needs that catch light. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to start doing this breastbone here. Turny, turny, turn, turn. Name that book. There we go. Get his little leggies. You know what? Don't tell the cockatrice, but I did eat chicken for supper tonight. But don't tell them. Don't tell the cockatrice. It's our secret. Okay? Just you and me. Only you and I know that I ate chicken for supper. And we definitely, oops, we're definitely not going to tell the cockatrice. Because I won't tell the cockatrice if you don't. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for not divulging my secrets to this horrifying looking monster of a chicken. Okay, and then I want to add here just a little bit of detail, because they have those like lines on their toes, and I think that kind of adds to like the gnarly monstrousness of it. Chicken feet are gnarly. They're gnarly, and people eat them. People eat chicken feet. That's weird. And I can see it for like adding it to soups and stuff, but like just eating chicken feet to eat chicken feet? That's weird. I'm actually really happy with that claw. I think that turned out pretty cool. Yeah, I can draw. Every once in a while. Every once in a while I know what I'm doing. was like, oh my gosh, I have to draw a basilisk tonight. How do I draw a basilisk? I don't know how to draw a basilisk. And I don't know if they have these little things on the back of their feet, but I'm drawing it in because it makes sense. And I think they do have something. That might be that dew claw thing that I'm adding in the top in the back. Who cares? It's a basilisk. He's got an extra toe now. The lies artists tell themselves when they don't know what they're doing. Nobody, I hope nobody came here for a basilisk anatomy class, because that's not my forte. I don't know. I only know what I read on the internet 20 minutes ago. So I really hope that nobody came here to learn how to fight a basilisk or to learn honestly much of anything about the basilisk, because I don't know. I don't know. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that little there. Come back here, do the same thing. Oops, I don't want it quite to be that sharp. There we go. That's better. There we go. Just keep talking, just keep talking. What do? We talk, talk, talk. I love to talk. I gotta stop laughing at every stupid thing I do. Whenever I feel awkward, I'm like, oh, tee hee 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 hee, hear me, I'm so quirky and funny. Ha! I'm doing it now. Okay. Octris has his little wingies. Okay, I'm going to go on to another layer for his tail feathers, because they're going to interact with this wing a little bit. I don't want... There we go. What did I do today? I didn't get much of anything done today because I was just miserable from allergies. Getting the allergy medicine from my husband really helped, but I lost the whole day to just sniffles. And the child is sick. Well, not really sick, but he's got like a cold, a head cold. And so he's cranky, and the other one is cranky too, because they're synced up as children are. And so they were both just kind of a little bit miserable today, which is lovely. It makes my day great. The older one just wanted to be cuddled. So, I hate seeing them sick. It just makes me sad. But we all survived. I actually went to sleep really well tonight, which is good for me because like I said, my normal mod is not here. He is out with the boys playing Magic. I would love to be out playing Magic, but I get to go out with my girlfriends every once in a while, and it's nice that he has friends that he can go out with and hang out. He deserves it. Oh, you know what the fun part of the snake tail is going to be is when I color it, I'm going to have to decide what colors I want to make it. And then it's going to be a decision of what kind of snake this thing has for a tail. That's going to be an interesting thought that I'm not going to think about right now because I don't want to. Let's do that later. Because when we have difficult things to deal with, we just push them off until later. And this is not advice. This is not good advice. Don't follow my advice. It's bad advice. Face things head forward. Face forward. Something is wrong with that back wing, but I'm not going to fix it. Why? Because I only have 15 minutes left to work on this. I mean, I could work on it longer, but like for the purposes of live streaming, I only want to go for an hour each night. So I don't really want to spend a lot of time on these pieces. Because I think more than an hour for a live stream is pretty long. I'm just starting. Nobody's really watching me yet. I see you, single person who's watching me. I appreciate you. You're a wonderful person, a beautiful person, whoever you are. Okay. So I'm going to break out something that I've been using on my day 2 drawing. It's called screen tones. They're a fun thing I've discovered. I mean, I knew about screen tones before, but I didn't really use them because I didn't draw digitally. And now that I draw digitally, we could just give our basilisk stars. Or we could make it a plaid basilisk. That's what the world needs. The world needs a plaid basilisk. Can you imagine a plaid basilisk? It's ridiculous. Let's try something. I think this is like a really... Oh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. No, I don't want that either. This one look like... No, it also looks like bricks. What about this one? That's really small. Let's just go with the tried and true. Not that one. Let's just go with the tried and true one. There we go. That works. Do that one. Perfect. I don't know that screen tones are very popular amongst digital artists. I know one artist that I really don't want to talk about or admit that I followed. Because she was not a very nice person, apparently, who used screen tones in their work. But I don't see a lot of people using them, and I don't know why that is, to be honest. Maybe it's just that they're not in vogue right now. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I think a lot of digital artists don't want people to necessarily be able to tell that they're working digitally, and maybe that's why They don't like screen tones because people can tell, oh yeah, that was done digitally. Though it did see how screen tones were originally used. And oh my gosh, it was like crafting on steroids. Used to have to you'd buy a sheet that was the screen tone, and it was like a giant sticker sheet. And you'd have to put you would have to stick it onto your page and then cut out the screen tone on around the way you wanted the where you wanted it. I'm not describing this very well, but it's like X-Acto knife. It's like X-Acto knife stuff where like you're like cutting out where the screen tone goes and sticking it on your sheet and then hoping that you just don't like mess up or cut into your drawing and ruin the whole thing because you were too aggressive with your X-Acto knife in your screen tones. It's crazy. And you can still buy them. I've looked at buying them, but I'm just not that patient. I don't want to sit there and meticulously cut things out with an X-Acto knife. That's ridiculous. Like, dang, people who made comics and manga way back when, and still now, like, man, comic book artists, they do the most. They do a lot. And manga artists, any really animators in general, I have a lot of respect for because you know, like their work is so meticulous and so like it's crazy. It's crazy what they do for their medium. And that's really inspiring, actually. I think it's really inspiring to see the work that goes into something. And it makes me like whenever I see an artist whose work that I like and I see how much time they put into it and what they had to do to complete the piece or whatever they're working on, like it's like wow, they did that with their own two hands. They made this thing that looks so cool that I love, and I can do that. I could do that. I have two hands and eyes, and maybe mine won't turn out as good as theirs, but I could do that. I could do that. I don't know. This is kind of cool. I love art. Art is fun. Obviously, if I didn't love art, I wouldn't be doing Inktober. This would be the worst thing to do if I did not enjoy art. I just kind of like get this itch where like I just have to draw. It's just like a thing I have to do. It's like, oh, I need to go draw something. Oh, I need to draw a thing and make it. I need paper and a pencil and my eyes and I just need to like I just have to draw something. I can also go long periods where I don't draw anything. That does happen, but I don't know. I just feel like I have to draw sometimes. It's like a requirement. I want to put texture on this back leg because I want to push it back into the background. There we go. Same thing with this foot. I'm just going to do this. Woo! Fix it later. I don't know. That's my thoughts on drawing. Again, I like this challenge. It's a fun challenge. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it because then that would ruin the whole point of it. if drawing becomes work, which is kind of what I'm afraid of with doing this, like live streaming drawing and starting an Etsy store and stuff, I'm like, oh, please don't become work. Do not become work. I don't want drawing to become chore. That would be awful. A lot of the time, like I have noticed, like, if I have a piece that I'm like thinking like, ooh, I'm making this because I want to sell it, I don't generally like it as much as a piece that I'm like genuinely like, oh yes, I want to paint this thing and I'm gonna do that today. Like, those drawings turn out a lot better than anything that I draw that I'm like, oh yes, I will draw this and sell it later. Those ones just don't. I don't like them as much. Reason why I don't like commissions either. Like, I don't like. I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure when I do commissions because they're, you got to get it right for the customer, and it's hard. It's hard to do commissions. I think a lot of artists live and die by commissions, and that's hard. That's hard because you have your own thing that you want to do, and then but you got to make money, so you have to draw what people want you to draw, and I don't know. That's just sometimes it's kind of sad thinking about that, and I don't really want that. But here I am on YouTube drawing, hoping that people like my drawings enough that they will go to my store. Speaking of which, today's show is sponsored by my Etsy shop. Erza's Art Atelier. Go to my shop and buy yourself a mug or a sticker or an original. I don't really have a lot of prints on there yet. Most of my stuff is like mugs and stickers. I like prints. I just don't know. I want to see the prints before I put them on the store because I want to make sure that they're good quality. I also recently heard about these. It's a French word. It's like glacé. I want to say it's like glacé or something like that. Anyway, it's a style of printing that is supposed to be like a higher quality print. It's supposed to be more art like in its quality and not just like, oh yes, I got this printed at Kinko's. Kinko's isn't a thing anymore, is it? It's not. It's not. Anyway, um yeah, anyway, so these prints are supposed to be a little bit more, I don't want to say professional, but more geared towards what an artist would want or someone who's buying art would want for a print. So I want to look into doing that, but it doesn't seem like a lot of places do those. So that's been the challenge is finding a place that will do them and then like having the funds to actually start getting prints done. Yeah, businesses are expensive, like starting a business is expensive. You have to put a lot of your own money down and you don't know if you're actually going to succeed. You may not succeed and you may just be out lots of money, and that's terrifying. Like, small business owners are no joke. They have big kahunas. You have to be a small business owner, I think. And small business owner, not an MLM. I don't like MLMs. I did Avon once. That went well. I did so well when Avon. I was their best representative. I sold nothing. I hate selling things Because I always think of reasons why, like, I don't need something. And if I don't need it and I don't, like, someone tells me that they don't need something, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you don't, oh, did I do that again? Ugh, I put it on the same layer as the line art. No. Dang it. It's all my viewers' fault. It's all your fault. You were the best person and now you're the worst because I was talking to you and not paying attention to what I was doing. And this is gonna ruin it. Oh my gosh. And I did that all over. I was not careful at all. This is gonna be the worst. Okay, well, first off, do not erase. I did learn this trick with digital art. You're not actually supposed to use, oops, you're not actually supposed to use the erasers. You don't want to use the erasers because you want the texture of your line art, or you want the texture, stop it, that's still on erase. Seriously? Oh, because I'm on eraser. I want to be on eraser. I want to be on this. Thank you. You want the tone, every brush is different. Every brush is different. Every brush is sacred. So the idea is if you use a different brush to erase than what you use to draw, whatever your drawing is, the texture of and you could kind of see it when I was using the eraser before, the texture of the line changes because you're using a different brush that has a different texture to it. And so it doesn't match. And then you get really funky things happening on whatever you're working on. So you want to use the same brush to erase that you use to draw with, which is why I'm using my line art brush to erase. And that makes my lines look more normal when I have to erase. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to go, why did I do this to myself? Why do I want to hurt myself by doing this? Why did I not pay attention to what I was doing? That's right, because I was talking and having fun. Oh well. It'll be fine. It'll be painful for now, but once I get it cleaned up, it'll look good, and then I can move on with my life. What to yammer on about now that I am erasing? Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of any media that has a basilisk in it that I can think of. The only thing that I can really think of is like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. But I don't know. Is that really a basilisk though? Because is it a basilisk? Yeah, it's not the snake. It's not the snake. It's not the dude's snake. I'm not up on Harry Potter. I didn't read it. I hate Harry. He's such a butt. He's an entitled little butt. I don't like him. But yeah, that and but that's the snake one. That's the snake one. So that would be not the not the cockatrice. Not this kind of basilisk. Because remember, if you were here at the beginning, and I don't know if you were. Basilisks come in 3 varieties: the basilisk, the regulus, and the not syphilis. That's not right. Syphilis. And the 3rd type of basilisk is syphilis. I mean, syphilis is quite the killer. Syllabus. Yeah. Yeah, syllabus. Because it kills things with sound. It's it screams and things die. Which is kind of like a banshee. Banshees scream and things die too. But the Regulus is the king, little king, which is why they have the crowns. So that's what I went with, was the Regulus, which is, I don't remember if I read that usually is a rooster, but I went with a rooster because who doesn't want to draw a giant rooster? Giggle, giggle, snicker, snicker. I really like mythology. I like mythology. I also like, I like folk tales, and I like conspiracy theories. Not because I believe conspiracy theories or because I think conspiracy theories are necessarily healthy things, but because I think conspiracy theories are the folk tales of today. I think conspiracy theories are modern folk tales. I don't think that they serve the same purpose necessarily that folk tales used to. But I do think that they are. I think that they're storytelling, they're interesting ideas. I don't think they're true, although some of them are pretty funny, which is why I enjoy hearing about them, because some of them are just kind of ridiculous. Like, really? Who believes that? Someone somewhere. That's the answer to that question. Somebody somewhere believes it or wants people to believe it enough that they put it on the internet. See, there's another one of those funky lines again. I don't know. Maybe I should ask Huey on about that, because this tablet has done that the entire time I've had it, and I don't remember my Wacom tablet doing that. But my Huion has always seemed to do that. Kind of annoying. It's not kind of annoying. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. I also tried, recently, I tried to turn up the sensitivity to try to see if, I turn up the sensitivity of the tablet. Maybe, I won't push on the screen so hard. But that didn't really work. It just made my pens act weird. Or my brushes. It made my brushes act weird when I tried to, be really delicate with my pressure. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. I have to press a little bit. And maybe that's just my personal preference, is that I need that physical pushback of the brush help me draw, but no, don't know. Okay, that's looking better. We're getting somewhere. We'll get cut back up to where we need to be eventually. I think I am going to bump up the size of this, because we're going to be doing this now. this side, and I think we can go a little bit bigger now that we're not going around like the feet and the head and that kind of thing. I am quite happy with this microphone. I think it actually sounds pretty good. I hope that my listeners do. Because I mean, it wasn't very expensive, but it's decent quality. I shouldn't really be surprised. Electronics have really come down in price. Things are, well, were a lot more affordable. I think that's so cool though. Technology, like the more technology we have, like the more things that common people, not common people, that sounds elitist. But it's true. It's like things like microphones and speaker systems aren't just for like rich people anymore. I can get on Amazon and buy a decent mic for not a lot of money, and I think that's great. I think it's awesome that I know people like to bash on Amazon a lot, but dang it, I can afford to have some nice things for not a lot of money, and that's really great. That's really great. The blessings that I have had in my life because of technology, because of the way, like, I have air conditioning in my house. Granted, it doesn't work very well upstairs, but I still have it. I have air conditioning in my house. There are people all around this planet who don't have air conditioning, who've never had air conditioning. All the people in the past who never had air conditioning. And here I am, not a rich person by any means, monetarily by any means, but yet I have an air conditioner in my house. I have a computer, which is pretty awesome because my brother built it for me. Well, he picked up the parts and then he helped me put it together, which was fun and makes the computer special because my brother made it for me, helped me make it, helped me build it. It's a special thing. I mean, it was always going to be kind of special because it's the nicest computer I've ever owned in my entire life. And the second computer that I've ever gotten that was brand new when I got it. The first being my laptop for college. Missed that laptop. It was a good computer. But yeah, special. Funny how things are. Shoot. That wasn't right. Turn this so that I can actually do this the proper way. I'm distracted. I need a drink. Once again, enjoying a glass of Angel's Envy finished rye, finished in Caribbean rum casks. It's pretty good. It's ruined me though. I'll never be able to drink Jack Daniels again. It is beneath me now. Kind of trying to become a whiskey connoisseur. Not a whiskey snob, a whiskey connoisseur. There's a difference. There is a difference. Somehow. I don't know what the difference is. Don't ask me. But there is one. And I can tell you that there is one. Because I said so. And you can believe me because I'm on the internet and you can believe everything that you read, see, or hear on the internet. If only. If only. Yeah. That'll work. There's a lot of that'll work going on tonight. Because I don't want to spend forever on these. But it's really hard when you're drawing digitally to just be like, oh yes, let me do just like this really quick sketch. Done. I mean, I could just leave it in the sketch stage. I have done that. And my husband's not home, so just take a little bit more time to draw tonight. Even if he was home, I could, but I like to spend time with him after work. My husband and I are gamers. We play video games together. We play Magic together. Magic the Gathering. We play board games sometimes. What else? Oh, we're into tabletop RPGs like Shadowdark. Shout out to Shadowdark in the Arcane Library. Really excited to receive my copy of Shadowdark. My husband ordered himself the Basilisk green cover, and I'm getting the classic black to match my dark black. Got my Stingbat mug the other day. Looks cool. I like it. I need to read up on Stingbats and what they are, because I'm kind of behind on the Shadowdark thing. It's more my husband's thing than it is mine. He's run a game, but I didn't get to play because I was watching the kids, which happens when you're married with children. One of you has to be in charge of the children at all times, and that sometimes means that you can't do everything you want to together. That's okay. Once they're in bed, all bets are off. We can do whatever we want. All right, let's see how this looks now that I've fixed my mistake with the screen tones. I mean, I was going to have to go back and erase anyway, but I didn't really want to do all. Didn't want to have to be that careful with my erasing. Yep. It looks decent. Considering I'm not really much of an animal artist, I think it's turned out pretty well. I like it. Let's slap some color in. See where that gets us. First, though, let us merge this and label it as the line art screen tone. And then we're going to group these together. Quick group. And label them as sketches. Because again, we want to have good layer organization. It will kill you later if you don't. Like, I don't know, putting screen tones on the same layer as your line art. Silly me. All right, let's pull the colors out of this guy over here. Because I am slightly lazy. And by slightly, I mean lots lazy. I am a lot lazy. All right. Let's see. Yeah, let's just use this one. That's interesting. Like I said, I haven't worked with screen tones very much, so I'm learning. You know what, though, we're going to do is, I know there's an easier way to do this. Don't come for me. when you say, oh, but if you just hit this button and this button, the whole thing would fill in and then you wouldn't have to do all this fiddly stuff you're about to do. You wouldn't have to go around and color it the way that you would normally have to color it, like you're like it's a traditional art piece. I know that. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And someday I'm sure that I will learn and then I will feel like a complete and total idiot for not figuring it out on my own. But until that day comes, I will do it the way that I am gonna do it now. So deal with it. Um, Also, my computer doesn't like to do the, so I did have to skimp when I bought the computer. I had to skimp on a few things. One of those things that I had to skimp on was the graphics card. And that's because when I bought my computer, graphics cards were horrific in price. Now, you can say, oh, why'd you skimp on a graphics card when you're an artist and you knew you were going to do, art stuff with your computer? Well, we all make choices. We all make choices. And again, when I was buying my computer, graphics cards, because some people decided that they needed to mine Bitcoin. And what do you use to mine Bitcoin? A computer. What's the most important part? Sorry, thought I heard crying. What's the most important part? The graphics card. You need a really good graphics card in order to mine Bitcoin. I hate Bitcoin miners for making graphics cards ridiculously overpriced. It's really frustrating. It would cost twice, this computer would have cost twice as much if I'd even gotten a mid-range graphics card for it. So I don't have the greatest graphics cards. My computer does not like to do certain things on here. So certain ways of doing the coloring I can't do because the computer just doesn't like it. It will freeze up, it will be unhappy, and then where would we be? We would be without a stream. There'd be no stream because the computer would just die and it would say, nope, I don't want to do that tonight. How dare you make me do work? That's what the computer says to me. So anyway, I'm going to do it this way until I figure out a better way that my computer doesn't hate, or I get a new graphics card. If you want to help me get a new graphics card for my computer so that I can color the proper way, you can go to my Etsy store. Shameless plug. Second shameless plug. I gotta do it. I gotta do it because it's the whole reason why I'm live streaming is so people will go to my Etsy store and buy stuff. Someday someone will buy something on my Etsy store. Someday. It will happen. Somebody did like one of my pictures, one of my paintings, and one of my original paintings the other day, which was heartening. Now, if I could turn those likes into purchases, that'd be even cooler. I just keep plugging away. Plug away, plug away. Keep making content. Get on. I need to make another TikTok video, and I need to get my new stuff onto the website. I just haven't, or onto Etsy, because I've got a couple of prints that I just got back from the framers, and I need to get those on the website. Once I get those on the website, well, I mean, it's not like they're gonna immediately sell as soon as I get them on the website. That would be lovely. One of them is going to be really expensive though, and I need to figure out a price tag on it before I put it up, especially for shipping, because shipping's going to be a bear. It's that piece. It just is, because it's like, it's glass. It's a glass painting, like it's a painting on glass. I did get it framed. I had to. It was like, I'm not going to ship this without a frame because that'd be dumb. And also, like, the frame completes the picture, like, finishes it off and makes it look complete. Just because of the nature of the way that the piece was drawn. It was expensive to get done because I went and I got like a custom frame for it and everything, because none of the frames were the right, like the pre-made frames, none of them were the right size. They were all the wrong size, from what I needed for the piece. And it was like, okay, well, fine, this is gonna need a custom frame. And then it was like, well, if I'm gonna get a custom frame for it, I'm not just gonna get a black frame. Because, like, as my aunt has pointed out, like, people like to have their frames match their house, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, you want your frame to match all your other frames. So, like, but this one, it was like, oh no, this piece, the frame is part of the art piece. Like, the art piece is not the same. It doesn't come across quite the same way in a different frame. I mean, it would, but this frame just made it just fit perfectly. So that's what I did. I have another piece of glass that I could do the same thing with. Well, yeah, that I could paint on. It's with this really crummy old frame. And there's nothing really salvageable in the frame. My husband brought it home from work. And there's nothing really salvageable about the frame. The frame is in pretty bad shape. The picture isn't anything special. It's just like a generic print because it was on the wall of a senior living facility, right? So it's like yellowed. The mat is all yellowed, but not like the nice patina kind of yellow. It's the gross, like, oh yeah, this is an old mat that's been on a wall for a while and in the sun and in the light, and it doesn't look good anymore. And then the frame is chipped and missing pieces and stuff like that, so it's not salvageable. But the glass is intact and is just fine. So I salvaged the glass out of the first one, and I still have the second one sitting in my studio. And I think I can paint on that one too. I did Sailor Mars from Sailor Moon on the first one. I think I might do Sailor Jupiter on the second one. I love Jupiter. She's one of my favorites. She's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do with that one. Kind of just sitting there waiting for the day when I'm like, I need to paint on that. My Serenity painting was that way. Like, I was at the store putting in the orders for the frames, and I saw the canvas and I said, I have to paint on that. I don't know why, but I just need to paint on that. That needs to come home with me, and I need to paint on it. And I did, and it's a beautiful piece that I love. And if no one else ever loves it, then it will grace my wall forever. I'm really proud of it, though. Not much of an acrylic painter, and I painted it in acrylic. I found these acrylics that I really like. They're from Golden. I've always used Liquitex acrylic paints. But since my Fritz and I, my husband and I wanted to try Warhammer, and I didn't want to go into debt to buy miniature paints, I looked into other alternatives, and one of the alternatives was golden so flat matte acrylics, and I love them. They work so great. They're beautiful to paint with. They're single pigment, so they mix really well. If you're not an artist, it's basically like paints are made with pigments. And when you start, sorry, I need a drink of water. When you start mixing pigments together, they can do funky things, especially if you get a bunch of pigments. They react. They don't always react the way that you think they're going to react because they're just because the way that they are. I can't. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain better than that, but because I don't know exactly the scientific reasoning for it. All I know is that paints are made with a binder and a pigment, and if you're mixing pigments and you mix certain pigments together, they don't like each other and they don't look good. Your colors can get really muddy really quickly if you mix certain things together that don't want to be mixed together. That's the best way I can describe it. I think that's a good way of describing what's happening with pigments. Anyway, so these golden so flat golden's like the top tier. Well, not top tier, but like it's one of the top tier layer, do a new layer. There we go. Perfect. Golden's like one of the well-respected acrylic brands. It's not cheap, but the value you get out of it it's something I've learned. Like being an artist, a traditional artist, is like the cheap art supplies are really good for learning, like just to dabble to see if you like it. Do you want to try it? But if you're gonna keep painting, if you're gonna keep doing some type of traditional media and you like it, you need to get the artist grade materials because it makes the painting experience better. You're not fighting with subpar materials. You're not fighting against your paper if you're using a high quality paper like Arsh. The If you're using 100% cotton paper, watercolor paper of a certain brand too, like brand matters. Arsh is the only brand that I have tried of watercolor paper that I love. I love using Arsh. I know what I'm getting when I buy a pack of Arsh paper. Like it's the same. The quality is there, the consistency is there. I'm not gonna get like I've tried other papers. That's the one I really Fabriano. Fabriano. Some people swear up and down by Fabriano. They're like, oh, Fabriano is great, it's affordable, it's this, and this. Man, I'm really thirsty. It's great, whatever. But like I tried it. I tried a hot press pad, a little hot press pad of Fabriano, 100% watercolor paper, hot press. I got these weird spots on the paper that just would not take pigment. They looked weird. They looked washed out no matter how much paint I added, no matter how, like, I could go in with a full mass tone, which is like the darkest, most saturated color you can get from a paint is in watercolors called the mass tone. Um, and I could do that. I could lay down the mass tone as much as I wanted, as thick as I wanted that paint to be, and these little spots, they just would not go away. It was like the sizing on the paper was was I don't know, either not there or it was gone, not applied evenly to the paper. And it's so frustrating. Nothing's more frustrating than getting like working on a piece and getting having it go really well and then discovering something is wrong with your paper. It's not you. It's not anything the artist did to the paper that made it that way. It came that way from the manufacturer. And it's like, why would I want to spend my money on something that's going to ruin my piece that I'm not sure is actually going to come out? Like it's actually going to do what I want it to do. That's just really frustrating. So I've become a paper snob. I'm a paper snob. I must have Arch watercolor paper. And I must have um must be I don't think that Arch makes a wood pulp paper. Um but like I've made my own watercolor sketchbooks using Arch paper because that's I only want to use 100% cotton watercolor paper, and finding that in a sketchbook is really hard. And they're really expensive when you do. I mean, they have a lot of pages, which is great, but they're expensive and they're not Arch. Arch doesn't make watercolor sketchbooks. They make small pads with like a wire binding, but they're not very like pretty on the outside. It's just a sketch. It's just a pad. It's just a pad of paper. Sometimes it's nice to have something that looks pretty on the outside too. Like my current moleskin, I started putting stickers on it because I had a bunch of stickers lying around. And I was like, oh, I have this moleskin sketchbook that I keep in my purse all the time. I'll put stickers on that, and I've just kind of put all my stickers on there. And I'm like, oh, this looks really cool, and I'm really happy with that sketchbook right now because it's like it's pretty on the outside. It's this nice green color, and then it's got this holographic dice sticker, D20 sticker on the front. It looks really good. I really like it. And I like making things. And I like being able to say, yes, I made this sketchbook. I thought about, I mean, maybe I should make some watercolor sketchbooks, Arch watercolor sketchbooks, and put them on my Etsy. Maybe people would buy those. I don't know. I'm not the best at binding, but I'm also okay with that because the first one I made the first one I made was for Inktober. I forget what year it was. I think it was the second year I did it. It was the second or third year that I did it. But I made a little sketchbook for that, and that worked really well for Inktober. It was just, oh yeah, I've got 30 pages, or I had it's like 31, I think. So I went in and then wrote all my prompts out beforehand, and sorry. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so I took a watercolor pad and I cut all the pages in half. I think I may have cut those in fourths. And then I took the backboard for the I did. I'm pretty sure I cut them in fourths. And then I took the cardboard backboard and I used that um as the cover. And I covered it in on top of the cover I put like um I went to the scrapbooking section in Hobby Lobby and I bought a scrapbooking page and I glued that onto the cover and then Mod Podge over it so it had some like rigidity, or not rigidity, but like it wouldn't tear to pieces from going in and out of my purse or traveling and stuff. And then I just folded the pages and put them into the sketchbook and sewed it all up and glued it, and then there we go. I had an Arsh watercolor sketchbook that I made myself. I was very proud of myself for that. It looked really good. And then when Inktober was over and I wanted to start selling my art, I tore the thing to pieces. Some of those Inktober pieces weren't as good as others. Some of them were really good and some of them were not. And they didn't need to all be in the sketchbook, or they didn't need to all be in sketchbook format. Although I really do like what I did the first year where I have like all of my Inktober pieces together in a portfolio. It's like, look, I'd love to take it to like I don't know. Like if I wish that I'd had that when I was applying to college. Maybe I would have actually like gotten scholarships for art school. That would have been cool. C'est la vie. Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. But if you try real hard, you might. Oh man, well, I don't know. Will I get in trouble for singing songs? I guess maybe if YouTube recognizes this song, they could get in trouble. I don't know. I don't know YouTube's rules. Anyway, YouTube is asshole, so, there's that. So do I really care? I'm not monetized. I need followers and watch hours in order to be monetized. I'm kind of enjoying just sitting here talking to myself, or talking to you, loyal listener who's been listening to me all night long, but not in chat, which kind of makes me think that my husband probably put this on and is playing Magic with this on in the corner, and I'm just kind of talking into his pocket or something. Whoever you are out there, loyal listener, thank you. Just give me time to just kind of think about things and talk out my thoughts. I like to talk out my thoughts. I don't like to not talk about things. Maybe to the detriment of, well, not detriment, but I know that frustrates some people, that I don't like to just not talk about things. I'd rather talk about them. I'd rather get things out in the open and be honest with people. It's I would do terribly in these royal intrigue shows or things like that. I would do terribly in that situation. I would do awful. It'd be terrible because I'd be like, that girl over there is a bitch and she did blah 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 to me and I don't like her and me. And she's a horrible person. But no, they have to sit there and they have to like smile and pretend. Oh, it's like high school. Hate it. No matter who wins, we'll all be friends. We weren't friends in the first place, bitch. My second high school was better than my first high school. Not that my first high school was that bad. I had good friends. I had people who liked me and I got along with certain people. I just didn't get along with other certain people. And that was irritating. Irritating. Yeah, maybe it's just because I feel like I'm not like the best at anything. I'm good at, I'm okay at a few things. I can be okay at a multitude of things, and I have a lot of interests. I mean, seriously, I have so many hobbies and so many things I like to do. I draw. I I have several mediums that I've tried. Uh, watercolor stuck. Once I actually tried it with decent watercolors. I used koi to start with. My koi palette was good. I liked it until I discovered that there were better palettes out there and I outgrew it. But like I do a lot of things. I paint, I draw. Okay. I'll put all the drawing related stuff together. I draw. I spin uh yarn. That's a new thing I learned in the last year. I've been doing that for about a year. I like it a lot. It's fun. I knit. Um, I really want to do sculpture. Um, it's always been something that I've wanted to do, but I've never like had the medium to do it with. Um, like how cool would it be to be like Jazza? If you don't know who Jazza is, he's an artist on YouTube and he does all these really cool things. Like he just tries like a different medium every other week. It's so cool and he's such a talented artist. He can do that. He can just move from medium to medium. He dabbles a little bit, he figures it out, and then he dives in and he can make something that looks really cool. It's awesome. I love watching Jazza. I love watching Jazza. And he's having a bit of a rough patch right now because he had to open up his Patreon, but oh yay. Um, you know, he's cool. I love watching his videos. It's exciting to see what he's gonna make every week. Um, and that inspires me as an artist to try things, to try new things, to see like, oh, cool, like he like did this. Oh, that's really neat. Like, oh, and like he used this medium and did this technique with it. I wonder if I could do that with the medium that I'm using. How could I integrate these things into my artwork? Like, that's so much fun. I love watching other people do art, and I like making art myself. And I like it when I can take a technique or a tip that I've seen someone else do and then integrate it into my own work and be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that works, or yeah, that doesn't really work for me, or um, maybe I need to try it a different way, or like stuff like that. Like that's fun. I love art. I love art. If I wasn't allowed to draw, I think I might just I would not be as happy and as well. I wouldn't be a happy person if I wasn't able to draw. If I was not able to draw, I would not be happy. Drawing makes me happy. Sitting here, drawing, thinking about stuff, making something cool, like a giant cock with a snake tail that's breathing fire. That's fun. That's cool. I like it. It's my therapy. I don't like therapists. I tried therapists once. Didn't go very well for me. I didn't like it. There were multiple reasons why I didn't like it, but art is my therapy. Art is how I think about things and I work through things. I've got a few pieces that like no one's allowed to see because they're me working through something or thinking about something. You can kind of tell when I have a piece like that. Like I have a really cool piece that I did that I haven't shared yet. But I will. I will share it. But it's a really personal piece. Um, because I put a lot of thought and heart into it, and I didn't even realize it. Like when I started drawing it, I didn't realize what I was drawing until like I had it like halfway done, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so. It's a really neat piece. It's pretty heavy though. Like it's pretty dark. I don't think that I'm ever gonna have it available as a print. Or like on a coffee mug. Not be an appropriate piece to have on a coffee mug, I don't think. But it's cool. I like it. It's a good piece. Turned out nice. But it's not coffee mug material. Definitely not coffee mug material. Like, I mean, it would be pretty depressing to wake up in the morning and go and pour your pot of coffee and see this really dark art piece on your coffee mug. It's like, oh my gosh, why so dark? Why? Okay, so here we go. Here's our basilisk. Cockatrice. Cockatrice basilisk. I need a color for his eye. I think I'm gonna pick up the green of this kind of like mossy green that's on the back of this. Something like in here. Yeah. Ooh, no, wait. Maybe I want this. And then in there. Yeah, let's try that. Picking my colors from that piece is really useful because you know what? Let's do that and then just there. Haha, green eye. It could go with some more refinement. Definitely like the snake's tail, I think could be refined more. Put a pattern on it. Pick a snake. I'm not sure that I like the color that I put down there, but just having the color on there helps. Helps to kind of view it, have an idea of what I want for it eventually. But yeah, I like that. That worked. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to my ink brush. I need to go onto my line art layer because I haven't done this for my other pieces, probably because I haven't finished them. But I need to sign this. And here's my signature. My lovely signature and the date. It is 10/6/23. And oops, this way. I always like to put my prompt on my Inktober pieces. Because then I remember, oh yeah, this was an Inktober piece. Obviously, because it was done in October, but also it's like, oh yeah, that was the prompt for that one. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I might come back to it later at another time. But yeah. Basilisk. It's a rooster breathing fire with a snake tail. It's actually not that intimidating. Maybe I just didn't like monsterize it enough. It's really just a rooster with a snake tail slapped on and fire. I don't know. Maybe if I refine it some more, it'll look more intimidating. I don't really draw monsters. I like to imagine that this is actually the size of a chicken. That would be funny. You go into your chicken coop in the morning and you're like, all right, chicks, I'm here to collect your eggs. Oh, get out of here, Basil. The basilisk. Dang it. Thing needs to get out of here. Don't look at him. If you look at him, he'll die. But at least he keeps all the snakes away from eating the chicken's eggs. That's kind of funny. All right. Well, with that, we are done for the evening. Basilisk, day 6 in the tank. Done. D-U-N, done. Oh, I should probably save that. Let's do day 6. That's right. I skipped day 5. 6, Basilisk. Save. Woohoo. Done. All right. I will stop sharing my screen. That is it for the stream tonight. Thank you, loyal watcher, for watching. I'll be back tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. for day 7. Let me see what that prompt is. For day 7, I can go ahead and just schedule my stream for tomorrow when I pop out of here. Tomorrow is Pact. P-A-C-T. Pact. Think about it. See what I come up with. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.